If astrology isn't real, then why did I do it again during this Mercury retrograde where I recorded an entire 30-minute video on mute? Did not realize that I pushed this button again. And I was just heated this morning because I was like, let me upload my video. Let me put it on YouTube so the people can hear what I got to say. And I was like, why can't I hear anything? Mercury, the planet of communication, and retrograde going backward, doing all kind of stuff, just messing up the energy of communication for me. I was so, oh my gosh, but I've collected my thoughts and I am back because I needed to get this out. I had a reading with an old friend and love her to death, but at the end of our reading, she was like, what do you believe in? And the word belief, I know she really means like, what do you worship? What do you look to? What do you think all of this is in relation to astrology? Like, who is your God? And I cannot speak for anyone else who is outside of me. But I do know, and I've seen, people who practice astrology and tarot and Reiki and all these other things that they do. People dip and dive into all kind of stuff. They are into magic and all that, and that's not me. And when it comes to what I do, and I tell people like, if you want that, if that's what your mindset is on, like you go that way because there you're not gonna get that over here. When I was in church, and if you've watched my other videos, I grew up in the Catholic Church. The idea of God and the creator, like I still have that same belief system. It is just now astrology and birth charts and things I see as a tool. And now I understand the corruption within religion, as far as why they tell us to stay away from it, because once you understand your birth chart and who you are, you start to look within and you no longer look to an outside source to find answers. And the problem with that is that if you're looking towards the outside, you're never going to find anything, because once you understand things like astrology, you'll understand one, that everything has its own unique energy. And when you look at your own alignment, you understand why you do certain things, why you think certain things, why you behave a certain way, why your thought process about certain aspects of life are different than other people. And you understand that you're not living life wrong. I just had a reading with someone who I've known for a long time. I had actually hadn't seen this person in like a decade, but their idea of marriage, they're like, I don't want to get married. Like I never want to get married. And it's because of their birth chart. Their birth chart literally says like, this is why you feel this way when it comes to that area of life. And this person has children, but they don't want to get married. But religion, church, and this idea that life has to be a certain way, I'm just like, no, it's not. I've looked at enough birth charts to understand that when it comes to, again, a belief system, it's not a belief system, it's an understanding. Astrology is an understanding. And when it comes to who or what created all of this, again, it's the same type of, for me, the same creator that I looked to whenever I was in church. But now with astrology, it is more of, instead of asking why, I know why. I know why, because it's like God gives you this map, this snapshot of your life for you to figure it out. It's like your math problem, your homework for your life that you have to understand. And you go through all of these trials and tribulations to, again, figure out the code, figure out what this all means. I have had so many people in all aspects of life, whether it comes to career, money, love, family, where they have these issues and they're looking to the outside or blaming somebody or turning to something else to find the answer. And then it's like they never do, or they feel like this just makes me so mad, because people give up on what they believe in. They give up on the idea of God, because if I say, well, I want this at this time and it doesn't happen, then you're like, well, then God's not real. God's not a real person or a real thing or a real entity, energy, whatever you want to call it. And so people just kind of give up and they're faithless and they're just walking around not believing because they look to it, and because the church, I feel like, uses prayer like a wish, like a genie, that if your wish doesn't come true at the time that you want it to come true, then it's not real. Then it doesn't work. And so that's why people give up on praying, or they're like, praying's not, whatever. And I have again, I've just undone everything that I have been taught. And when it comes to, again, my creator, I do look at, there is a creator. There is something that made our birth charts. Like, that's just something that it's inexplainable, honestly. How does this system that someone has come up with, they come up with the software, they come up with, the research, the observations of what's in the sky at a certain time. Um, you know, how do you even explain all of that? How do you explain all of that? I don't, like I said, I don't know what other people do. I've seen what some other people do and what they get into, but that is not me. And I'm only here to speak for myself because a lot of times when people hear astrology, they're like witchcraft, demons, satanic, whatever. When I do my readings with people, I we're just having a conversation. We're having a conversation like the one I just had. I'm like, "Oh, you're very talkative because you literally have 4 Gemini placements. Like you talk a lot. You ask a lot of questions because you have Gemini placements." So, that would indicate that if you're in conversation with someone, if you're trying to get to know somebody in a relationship with someone and they tell you you talk too much, if you didn't understand astrology, know anything about any of these energies, you would maybe feel a little bit hurt, maybe feel embarrassed, maybe feel like, "Oh, am I annoying?" or whatever. But it is to say that no, you just learn yourself to find out why you do what you do. And looking to the outside, maybe again, let's say using that example again, every person you come across, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you talk so much, blah, 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 blah." Now you're at home and you're like, "Oh, why does everyone say this? Why is everyone, thinking I'm annoying? Why does everybody blah, blah, blah?" And you're looking to the outside. You're not getting answers. You know why you're not getting answers? Because you're looking outwardly. When you need to look within, you need to look at, again, something like your birth chart to help you understand why. And it is also going to confirm that there is a matching energy for this. There's somebody who loves someone who talks a lot, somebody who asks a lot of questions, somebody who can engage in conversation. That's literally the conversation I just had with my last client, who was like, "I need intellectual stimulation. If not, it's a no-go." So again, when you learn yourself, you learn how to find the answers. You learn that, that your life is not going in the wrong direction or you're doing something wrong because once you understand astrology, you learn that everything is on its own time. And that's why, again, in the Bible, there are certain like phrases and verses that are very popular with people that will resonate, but it's also can be applicable to astrology, just even the smallest things about like being patient. Being patient because in astrology, you can understand that certain planets mature at certain times, certain ages. They'll transit, for a certain time around your certain houses. So you'll have to deal with those energies for a little bit, but everything is temporary, being patient, trusting, not making predictions, getting into all that. God literally created you uniquely for a reason. It's no one has like you have a better life than this one, or everybody has their unique gifts. Everybody has their own thing that they can contribute to the world. Whether or not you feel like you're doing the right thing in society, there is no right or wrong way to live life. I'm telling you that right now. There's no, if you, like I said, and I've said it before, if you are somebody who doesn't care about money, you don't care about climbing the social ladder, if you don't care about becoming the manager, whatever, like that's okay. If you don't want to have kids, that's okay. Like all of those things, that's okay. When it comes to, again, what you believe in, as somebody who practices astrology, I am somebody who is very big on there is a creator, there is a God who created all of us in its image. I say it's because it's not even, I don't know why they use the word he now. Everything is masculine and feminine energy. It's all a balance of two different energies. We all have masculine and feminine energy in us. And so, again, that is why I just like, I harp so much on people to one, truly learn what it is that you are against. If you're somebody who's watching this, you probably do already understand astrology. You're probably not somebody who's anti-astrology or has some kind of like whatever belief system, but it's not a belief system, it's an understanding. I understand astrology. I understand how it works. I understand why people who are born around a certain time behave in the same way. I understand why people live different lives. I understand why we're all not the same. Something created us. Something. And again, it is not an evil thing to learn yourself. I don't know where or how or why along this timeline that it just got misconstrued. But again, there's always a reason. There's a bigger agenda, because if you, someone who did not learn yourself, you do not know anything about this, you're going to go through life lost. And then what happens when you're lost in life? You will turn to people who can control you, manipulate you. You'll buy things, pour into the system monetarily, because you're like, why am I so depressed? Why am I so unworthy? Why am I so this? When you just need to understand that you were created with a certain energy that matches somebody somewhere. And if that person at that particular time, because let's talk about relationships, that it's not meant to be for you at that moment, but it is there to teach you a lesson. Everything is there to teach you a lesson, no matter what it is, no matter what you're going through. You're supposed to learn something from every circumstance. So when you learn yourself, you learn again how to take the blame off of other people, everything on the outside, because our purpose here is to look within. We have to look within as to why we do what we do, like what we like, are the way that we are. It is also to understand again that God made you unique, very different from every single person. There are things about you that you have that other people want. I don't care what kind of life you're living right now. There are people who are like, "Oh, I'll never find love. Oh, I'll never find a better job, money." Oh, I'm telling you right now, like I had a client yesterday, and just several kids, and was talking about how overwhelming it can be. And I am not a parent, I cannot speak on that. But what I can say is that there are also other people who have had sessions with who really want children, who have no idea if they're ever going to have kids one day. And so it's to understand that even though this person without children has a lot of money and is living this fabulous looking lifestyle on the outside, really wants something that they don't know if they're ever going to get. And then you have this person who has an abundance of children, who's like, oh my gosh, this is so stressful. It's like everybody's dealing with something that the other person wants. So that's why I said, you learn yourself, learn your God-given gifts. I don't know, again, what other people believe, but what I believe is that there is a creator who made all of us, the same creator that I was looking to whenever I was in the Catholic Church, in the Baptist Church, and all the churches that I've ever been to. It's the same exact thing. I still get frustrated. I still look up and I'm like, why do I have this alignment? Why do I have this? Why do I have to go through this thing? Why do I have to, have all these obstacles in this area? Like, it just is. So I understand where it comes from, but I still look upward to God, to the creator, and say, why? Why? Why can't I just help everyone? Why can't I be the master astrologer that can reach all people and help people understand this in the most simplest way possible? But again, we're not supposed to learn everything, because, some things are a mystery. But I just wanted to quickly just, I say quickly, I don't even know how long I've been talking. But I just wanted to say this because I just really, really strongly dislike whenever people say stuff like, "Oh, you're so witchy," or "That's a witchcraft," or whatever. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, first of all, I don't do any kind of spells, magic, worship this, worship that. Like, I don't do none of that. I am very straightforward, very like, here's your sun sign, here's your moon sign, here's your Mercury sign, this is what this means, boom, 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 and explain it like that. There's no extra outside. Now, if you want to talk about stuff, then sure, we can talk about that during our session, but like, this is all just, this is just because it's me. I'm Aquarius and I'm weird and, I'm different, and I'll wear this to the mall. Like, I've worn this to the mall so many times. I don't care, but it has nothing to do with anything else. Like, oh, people. Anyways, I had to redo this video because I was very upset that my last video was all on mute. There's no sound to it, so I'm gonna try again, y'all. But again, the summary of this video is I believe in what you believe in. If you're a Christian, if you're somebody who's in church, like we believe in the same thing. We just don't probably have the same understanding of what this all is, but we still both look to a higher power, a creator who made both you and I, and that's it. Okay, y'all. So, anyways, if you want an in-depth analysis of your birth chart, then go ahead and message me because I'm trying to be all up in your business and see what you got going on. No judgment because I probably have already heard it. So, visit me on any social media platform. Hit me up on my website. If you're in Houston, Texas, I'm going to be having an event, a private event, a small event on May the 11th. So hopefully there's somebody out there who will attend because it seems like everybody's outside of Houston. Like it's a big city, but people, I don't know if they're really aware here. I don't know. Y'all let me know if y'all are in hiding, if you're somewhere if you want me to come to your city, like get a big group together and I'll come and I'll teach everybody astrology, okay? Anyways, y'all, thank y'all for listening and I will see you on the next video. If you have any suggestions on what kind of video I should make, leave a comment. And I really appreciate y'all for the last video and all the comments y'all left because I was like, finally, I'm not talking to myself. Anyways, y'all, I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm talking too much. Bye.